good morning. Thank you, Matt. Thanks for having me. Yeah, I'm Patrick Kelly. I'm with Digital Watchdog, the director of the IP video solutions for Digital Watchdog. As Matt said, I'm based out of Tampa, Florida. And so we have a little bit of a PowerPoint and an agenda, and then I've also got some things to show you as well, some demonstrations and so forth. So we'll try to stick to this as much as we can, but pop them back and forth. And as Matt said, if you have any questions, by all means, pop them into the chat, and so we can talk about them. So just to talk a little bit about Digital Watchdog, maybe do a little introduction. But actually, before I get to the introduction, I'm just going to pop over, because I know Matt brought up when we were discussing this particular webinar, one of the things that Matt brought up was our DW Witness product that works with NX Witness. And so it is a mobile application, and it is available both in the Android and the iOS store. And so basically what this application does is it turns your cell phone into a camera on a NX Witness system. And so you simply just download the NX Witness app. You have to download the plugin and the setup. So there's some information on our website. You can go into our knowledge base, and if you just type in DW Witness in the knowledge base, you'll get the information and instructions on that. By the way, in this presentation, you'll see a reference to DW Spectrums, just for clarification purposes for those that don't know. Digital Watchdog is a early DW Spectrum is a powered by NX Witness or powered by NX platform, and Digital Watchdog is a early investor in Network Optix, and so we're partners with Network Optix around the world, and working with them on the platform. NX has grown, and as they've grown, they've incorporated a number of different powered by NX platforms. We are one of the few platforms that actually, we're the only platform that actually sits on the board of directors with Network Optix, with our president and CEO, Wade Thomas. So that's just kind of the little bit about the relationship there, to kind of get that out of the way. Nobody's hiding anything. And so let's show you NX Witness, or I'm gonna do that a couple times today, Matt, with DW Witness and NX Witness and so forth. But so this is a system, and so this is a powered by NX platform, and so this is actually in Texas. So this is a couple states over. Matt wanted me to hit the high points, and so you're getting Florida, you're getting Texas, so you can all have a good laugh about us, and I completely understand. And so I've got my DW Witness here on my iOS device here, and so the app is all set up, and this is all set up for this particular system. So literally at this point, I've put the IP address in, I've set it to a Spectrum system out there, and at this point, all I'm going to do is just hit the button, and I'm now starting to stream. So this has registered in here, so you can kind of see. So again, you're looking at the Spectrum solution out in Texas that I'm streaming to with my cell phone here, and so I've turned my cell phone into a camera, so we can loop back, and I can see Matt over there. So you can kind of see the NX Witness, the DW Witness product working in NX Witness. Okay, so if there's any questions on that, you can check that out. That's on our website, as I mentioned, and that's just one of the things that we have and that we use, and we'll show you a little bit more about that here going forward. So again, about the company itself. Get back to my PowerPoint. There we go. We are founded in 1987, so we're over 30 years old, and we've been involved in the surveillance industry that entire time. We are part of a global company so we have manufacturing facilities. Our manufacturing facilities are in both South Korea and Vietnam. So the team there that is known as CPro. So Digital Watchdog is a CPro company. And so we have our technology. We have the office there in Tampa, Florida, and then we also have our main headquarter office in Cerritos, California, in Southern California. We are a NDAA manufacturer. So all of our products, none of our products contain any of the banned material. We don't work with any of the companies that are on the do not work with list here in the States. I know I've heard that's gotten over there in Australia. So just wanted to bring that up in terms of, and our manufacturing again is done in South Korea and Vietnam as well. Timeline, we've got lots of different products. We'll focus primarily on our MEGApix product line here, but you can kind of see the evolution of the company and things that we've done out there. And again, our website, we do have a partner program, installation videos, documentation, our online knowledge base I mentioned already with the DW Witness product, and setting that up and going through that is available through our support center there. We do have technical support here in the United States. We have a online learning solution where we talk about our products and educate the masses about our products. And then we've also got training videos and so forth on YouTube and some of the video platforms out there. So as I mentioned, we are going to focus on the MEGApix lineup here for this particular presentation and talk about our MEGApix product. But actually I just saw, and so I'm just going to swap over again just one more time. Again, discussing with Matt some of the things that he wanted to see that we have available. And so real quick, some of the products. One of the products is called DW Spot, which is our IP decoding device. And so this is used for spot monitors. If you have spot monitor locations for both HDMI and VGA connections, and so we can decode ONVIF cameras. This does not touch the Powered by NX platform at all. It goes right to the ONVIF camera and brings it up. We have this available both in a 4 and a 16 camera setup and configuration. So it's kind of an IP decoding device. The other two product lines that we have that are a little bit different than the cameras is the Sight Watch, which is a detection technology that is integrated with the Powered by NX platform. So that we have both passive infrared and microwave detectors. These are IP powered, PoE powered devices. And then we've got our laser detector, so we can do, and these can send alarm messages into the Powered by NX platform as well. And then finally, we've got our Night Watch product that we carry as well. These are illuminators, PoE powered illuminators. We've got hybrid illuminators, IR illuminators, and white light illuminators available. And again, these all interface with the Powered by NX platform as well. Okay, so I'm just gonna switch back there. And sorry, okay. You can see my screen there, Matt? We're all good? All right. So let's go to oops, our MEGApix lineup. So our MEGApix is the brand name that we use for our IP cameras. They're all, we range anywhere from a 4K to a 5 megapixel, 4 megapixel, and 2.1 megapixel. They come with a 5-year warranty, IK impact rating, IP66 and 68. These are all ONVIF conformant devices. They're all listed on the ONVIF website. They're all triple Kodak in that they'll work with both the H.265, 264, and motion JPEG. And then we'll talk about our IVA inside, our intelligent video analytic that's on board on the cameras itself. We do have some technology built into the cameras from our true wide dynamic range technology for those intense lighting conditions where you've got dark environments, light environments, and so forth, and balancing out. So we've got our true wide dynamic. We do have our clean view technology, which is the coating on the dome enclosures to repel water. And so, in terms of on the installation process with that, to not touch the dome itself, but it protects the dome enclosure, gives it a little more life in terms of those water spots and things that you'll get. And then we have our Starlight Plus technology, which is the color and darkness on board the camera as well, so that for your low light conditions. A couple of other things that we've got is the Smart IR, as well as the digital noise reduction, the 3D digital noise reduction. And then just put it in here though, you'll also see on our lineup of product is our cold start, so our -40 cold start on the camera. So for those intense conditions, I honestly don't know, Matt, if you guys experience that down there, but we have lots of areas that that require that up here as well. And then a couple other things about the MEGApix lineup in terms of the Vandal ball housing, kind of a unique design in terms of its flat glass, as well as its full tilting, 90-degree tilting, 360-degree rotation on it. And then you'll also see in our lineup is our ultra low profile Vandal domes. So these are IP66 rated Vandal domes that are really small form factor, low profile. And then you can also get incorporated within that is our decorative rings that you can pop on there, and so you can paint those accordingly as needed. All right. Another part of the lineup that you'll see in our MEGApix lineup is our Pano series. So we've got a full range of panoramic technology. And so we have both single sensor and multi-sensor panoramic cameras that are completely compatible with the Powered by NX product, or the NX Witness product. These are IP66 and 68 rated, IK10, and also come with a 5-year warranty. And so we'll pop into that. So that particular lineup, we have 2 of them here that you'll see. One is a 48 megapixel panoramic. So this is a 4-sensor camera. Each sensor is 12 megapixels. At 48 megapixels, you can do 15 frames per second, or you can set the camera in a 32 megapixel mode and get 30 frames per second from a single network connection. This is a single IP address, single license on the NX Witness product. And so this comes up as a single camera in the tree. And then of course the region of interest feature within the NX Witness product is perfect for going in and drawing areas and popping those out within the user interface. Kind of the little brother to that is the 21 megapixel. So this is again a 4-sensor. This is 6.4 megapixels per sensor, and so each of these are placed to give you that 180 degree. So these are 180 degree fixed position lenses on these two particular cameras. Excuse me. And so this is a 21 megapixel at 30 frames per second. Again, PoE powered device that on a single network connection and a single license within the NX Witness product line. Our Flex lineup. So we've got, we currently have 1 product out, and we've got 1 on the way, should be here shortly. So this is our 16 megapixel. And so what's unique about the Flex product is on this one, that you can take the imagers and move them at installation. So this particular camera does not have to be a 180 or a 360. It actually is whatever you want it to be. So you can make it a 270. You can use this for areas, outside corners of the building, hallways, those types of things. This is a fixed lens version of this camera. And again, each sensor is 4 megapixels. And so you can get this with 4 of the same lens configuration, or you can mix and match the lens configurations in this. And so you can get those, including that 3 sensor. This one's popular down here, where you're going to use 3 sensors on the outside corner of the building, as well as 1 looking down. And so you can mix and match those lens configurations from a 2.8, 4 millimeter, 6 millimeter, and an 8 millimeter lens module on this particular camera. We do have a 20 megapixel version of this with a varifocal lens that should be hitting the shelves here by, I think it's the end of October is the plan on that particular product. Okay, in our single sensor lineup of the MEGApix Pano series is our, this is actually a 4K, so it's an 8 megapixel ultra wide. It's a single sensor. And what's unique about this particular camera in terms of in the panoramic lineup is that it's, you know, it's not a fisheye, so it's not going to give you that fisheye view, but it is going to give you an ultra wide view, and it actually cuts down on the distance. You know, that blind spot underneath the camera is significantly lower with this particular camera. So this has become a very popular camera. It includes the sun shield, but you can use this both inside and outside. We've had a lot of success with people using this in parking lots as well as in hallways, and to cover that with this, it's an 8 megapixel ultra wide, and I can log into some of our demo systems and show you that as well. And then you'll see here this is our fisheye lineup. We do have both a 5 megapixel and a 9 megapixel. Now we call it a 9 megapixel. It is a 12 megapixel sensor. You know, the sensor is square and the lens is round, so you're cutting off the edges there. So we refer to it as a 9 megapixel, but it's actually a 12 megapixel sensor inside of this camera. So we have this available in a couple of different flavors, and we'll get into this particular camera when we talk about CaaS as well later on, which is our camera as a system technology. But this particular camera is available with integrated IR on it, and it's available both with IVA and IVA plus. So that would be the purpose of the two-part numbers, is that we have our basic IVA as well as our IVA plus on board these cameras. And you'll see that with a lot of our cameras, and we'll soon fill out the line with cameras being available preloaded with the IVA plus, which we'll explain here in just a little bit. Okay, so actually let's get into the IVA. So we do a license-free onboard video analytics. So I mentioned earlier that Digital Watchdog is a CPro company, and the CPro family of companies. So we're somewhat related to a company out of England called VCA, which is an analytic, VCA Technologies, which is an analytic solution. So we've started to incorporate their video analytics on board our cameras. And so these are running at the edge on the camera itself. And we broke the lineup into two parts, as I've mentioned already, is both IVA and then IVA plus. And so IVA is in the base, and our what we're shooting for here is that all of our cameras will have IVA on board as a standard feature, and that IVA will include things like intrusion, enter, loitering, line crossing, exit, and tamper. So these will all come standard on board the camera. They're preloaded on the camera. And we do, of course, have the plugin that you can put inside of the NX Witness platform, and so that these cameras can communicate with NX Witness as well. And I'll show you that here in just a second. But let's talk about IVA as well. And so IVA Plus. So IVA Plus includes everything that I just mentioned in IVA, but it also includes things like object removal, direction, stop, tailgating, abandon, appear, and disappear. So you get a whole suite of additional analytics on board the camera using the IVA Plus. And then the really important feature that you add when you add the IVA Plus on board these cameras is that you have what's called logical rules. So you can actually combine multiple analytics. So you can combine the tailgating with the intrusion with the line crossing to really filter down what it is that you're trying to trip on an alarm basis using the logical rule function on board the camera. As I mentioned, and you'll see when we're looking at the website and the product line, is that we have cameras, and we'll have 2 of every camera on board. We'll have a standard camera, and then we'll have what we call the IVA Plus model, which will have a P as the second digit after the DWC-M for megapixel, and P is for the IVA Plus on board. So when you're looking at the MEGApix lineup, we'll start here on board. We've got lots of cameras for lots of different applications, and so I can just come in here, view all products, and then I can filter this down. So we've got our 4K dome, we've got our Vandal balls, and then we've got our bullets and domes as well on board. And then so through this, you can come in here and show me just all the 4Ks. You can use our product selector to filter that down even further if you so choose, right inside of here. And again, you can go in and look at for things like particular features or compliance features, those types of things can all be filtered online here right off of our website, and you can bring up each one of these cameras. Okay, so lots of different cameras for lots of different applications in terms of the product line itself. So let's go over here. Got it here. Matt, how are we doing? Do we have any questions? You out there? Got them on mute. Okay.
Sorry, with a DW witness, does it send the audio as well as the picture?
Audio as well as picture. Yes. Yes. There's it'll stream audio as well as the video itself. And yeah.
And we have one more that's come through as well.
Great.
Hang on a second. Will the DW mobile app work with itself without having DW version of NX server?
No.
No, it has to work. It has to work with NX. So you have to have the NX set up first, and then you buy the license for the DW witness. It doesn't just work on its own.
Yeah, what you're purchasing on the as far as DW witness goes, what you're purchasing is just a standard camera license. So let me go back to Bobby's so that you can take a look at that. Disconnect here. So as you can see from the site tree, and NX has the same, that we've got a license applied to this particular camera. So this is my camera. I'm not currently streaming through the app here. I will in just a second. But if we go into the camera settings here, you'll see in the recording tab that a license, a NX witness license is applied to this particular camera, and I've set up a recording capability. And so I could take that license off and apply it to another camera. If I hit apply here, that would remove the license and it would give me the ability. So you'll notice on this particular one, because it's actually a demo system, there's other cell phones that are tapping in here because we're showing lots of the DW witness in this as well. But again, all I'm doing here in this case is, since I've got the license applied, it's literally just sitting there waiting for me to hit the button here. So I'll start streaming that. And I know I showed this right off the bat, but we'll just show it again just so you can kind of see that there's Matt over there. There's the system. So this particular NX witness system again is residing in Texas, and so I can view his cameras from his system. So that's the roadway out in front of his location there, as well as my cell phone here in Florida streaming across the network and hitting the NX witness system there in Texas. Does that clear it up, Matt?
Yep. So the next question is question from the mobile app. Yeah. So if you're using NX Witness, you can purchase a license to use this app. Basically, it's a third-party app. Basically, DW have made it themselves, which will work with any of our Works with NX partners.
Let me clarify. We don't charge for the app. So,
okay.
So you literally just download the app, install the plugin. So if you follow these instructions here, it's pretty much the same location in terms of where you're going to install that plugin and so forth, using the DW Witness plugin. You can take that and install that and try it out.
Yeah.
What you're purchasing is an NX Witness license to record.
Yeah. IVA cameras will definitely work with NX Witness. That's from Vlado as well. So if you're running NX VMS, any of the DW cameras work exactly the same as what you're seeing on the screen as in NX Witness. That's kind of the way that NX works. Do the Pano range of cameras blend, merge video frames, or are they all separate? In other words, can you see the crossing from one sensor to another on the Pano video?
Yes. Yes, you can. Yes, they're all stitched together. You can set, and it actually, I'm sorry, let me rephrase that because I covered a lot of different cameras, and then there's different cameras are treated differently within the system. So I'm going to log into our demo system. This is actually our office in California. And so the Flex product is 4 sensors, and I mentioned you can position those sensors wherever. So how it shows up in the site tree is actually it's nested inside of that, and I can bring each one of the imagers over and display them independently. So that's the Flex product on board there. Versus, let me see if I've got a. I know I'm going to go to one of our. Let's go to this little end user, and we'll look at his. And so this is a multi-sensor, and so this actually each individual sensor is taking the light level for the area. So the building over here is causing this sensor to be a little bit different than all the lights that he's got in the garden here at the beer garden on board here. So the multi-sensor shows up this way, and then we can also use the regions of interest. And of course, you could also set this up if you wanted to stream each one of them individually inside of, but natively they're going to show up as a stitched. And that's true for the 48 megapixel, the 21 megapixel cameras. And then we get to our fish eyes, which you're all familiar with in terms of how it handles here, that you can treat this as, you know, a 90 degree, a 180, and a 360 inside of here, and you've got multiples within here so that you can set that up. But that's fairly common within the NX Witness platform as well. That clear it up, Matt?
Yep.
Good. Okay. Alrighty. So let's go back over here. Actually, let me hop. I mentioned, and since I'm hopping between some demo systems on that are my cloud connected, I'll pop over here and we'll just drop into this office here. And so this is our Night Watch product. So again, this is the Night Watch product, our Night Watch solution. So these are either IR or white light, or we actually have a hybrid as well within this. And so these are PoE powered, you know, IP enabled illuminators. And so things like, you know, whether it's an analytic rule, or in this case, what we're using is the smart triggers. So I can come in here, click the on button, turn that on. And of course, if you look in the rules engine, you'll see we're not doing any relays or anything like that. We're just sending power on and power off commands to the device itself across the network. Of course, this also works in NX Witness, and it works from the mobile app as well. So if I'm logged into this and I have the rights to be able to use those soft triggers, I can turn on and off the lights in that office right from here as well. Okay. And then conversely, I don't know if we can use our SiteWatch product to turn those lights on as well. So yes, we love video analytics, and we work with lots of different video analytics solutions. These particular products here, this is either a passive infrared, a dual tech, or we've got the laser detector, which is kind of a fence line. So this has got, the fence line has a 500 meters, 25 zones. Each zone can be individually identified, and so you can send different commands to NX Witness based on what zone they trip, so you can turn on different lights and so forth through that. So that's always an option there with our SiteWatch detectors. Okay, and then I'm going to switch over here. And we're going to go. A lot of screens open now. There we go. Oops. Okay. And so here you see in terms of let me get back over here. There you are. All right. So this is our IVA communicating with NX Witness, and so you're able to come in through the right panel interface, bring up, and so what Joe has outlined here is you'll see the green area that he's set up as an intrusion zone. He's set up a tripwire here, and then he's also set up the blue area, which is a non-alarm zone. So he's only alarming when they're coming in onto his property here, and he's actually ignoring the other things that are happening in the blue zone there. So you'll see it kind of stop detection as he goes across there. But of course, this is all available inside here that you can search for particular things, persons, vehicles. So you've got your classification, and of course, so the way that we handle this is you just come in here to the camera settings, just like we were before, and you can come into the web pages, and then you can come from here and set up your mimics and your zones, and then set up your classification from here as well. Okay. But of course, and then that works with our plugin. We ship DW Spectrum with the plugin already installed, but the same plugin will work for an NX Witness solution as well. And we have that on our website, and you can install that. Any questions there, Joe or Matt? Sorry.
None coming at the moment.
Okay. All right. So let's pop over to talk about our CaaS product then.
My favorite product.
Yeah. CaaS is fun. So we refer to CaaS, and I'm going to just use the website here for a moment so you can kind of, well, actually, sorry. Let me go back to the PowerPoint. Okay. So CaaS is something that we developed a couple of years ago, and so this is running the NX Witness media server on board. So as many of you probably know, NX Witness is available both in a Windows and a Linux format as far as the recording engine, but it's also available in an ARM format. And so we've configured these particular cameras with an onboard chip that will support running the ARM version of NX Witness right on the camera itself. So when we ship these cameras, we ship them with a license already activated, already pre-installed with that media server. So at this point, you're just using the client to log into the cameras themselves. You can do everything that you can do in NX Witness, you can do right on board the camera itself. We typically sell these cameras with either 64, 128, or 256 gigabytes of onboard storage. So there's an SD card on board. And so this is CaaS is camera as a system. So it's a serverless environment that you can take and run NX Witness right on board the camera with no server. Additionally, what you can do is you can take up to 30 of the cameras and merge them together as a single system. So just like you can take, 100 of the NX Witness servers and merge them together and have a single system, single tile there on your client or in your mobile app and so forth. With this particular horsepower of the chip on board the camera, it'll support up to 30 cameras merged together as a single system. So it's perfect for those, those restaurants, those quick serve type locations where they want, 4 to 8 cameras in a serverless environment. And every camera has its own server settings, and it's no different in terms of the server settings that are on board. You have all the functionality in terms of doing backup, so you can actually back up the video to a network attached storage device if you so choose. And so this is an all-in-one solution where you're running NX Witness right at the edge. Okay, did I explain that well enough, Matt?
Yeah, you did a great job. So the other thing to take into account with these the CaaS cameras is, obviously you can put them in, but when you put them into NX, it literally shows up no different to anything else. Like, that's the cool thing about it. So inside NX, it literally just looks like a camera. And there's no difference really whatsoever. It's just the fact that the server is actually stored on the camera itself, and you can still have another server running. So you can still have a server running and plug one of these cameras in, and it still works exactly the same. You're just running a separate server out of a separate location in case the network goes down or whatever. It keeps working. It's a really cool solution.
Yeah, but the only difference, so in this particular NX Witness solution, you have your actually, I don't have rights for this one. Let me switch over to another one. I'm here. Let's go to the demo system. If I right click on each one of these servers, I have my server settings. The only difference is that for a CaaS solution, when you right click on the CaaS camera, the server settings are in this drop down. It's just another part of this drop down, but it's all right inside of here, and everything that you're doing on a server-based system, you can do on an edge-based system as well. So we do have these cameras in a couple of different, so there's lots of different part numbers for this particular lineup because of those 3 storage configurations. But basically what you've got here is a varifocal dome. So this is a 4 megapixel varifocal dome. This has remote zoom, autofocus, onboard the camera. So NX Witness will treat this as a PTZ, so I can sit here in Tampa and log into the system out in California and configure the lens on this particular camera. But I can get that in as a 64 gig, 128, or 256. We have 3 bullet cameras. So we've got a 4 megapixel, and so you'll see it as either the C6 being the 64, the C1 being the 128, or the C2 being the 256 at the end. But this is again, in terms of the lens size configuration on these, you'll see here 2.8 to 12, okay, remote zoom and autofocus on board this particular camera. We move over to this one. What's nice about this particular bullet is the lens size. So you're talking about a 6 to 50 millimeter varifocal lens on this camera. We have this both in CaaS as well as in our standard lineup non-CaaS version of the MEGApix setup. So those areas where you want to mount the camera on the building, but you're actually looking at the gate, or you're looking across the parking lot at the entryway, those types of things, and you need to zoom in quite a distance. This camera is perfect for that. So very popular in terms of its capabilities and functionality. And then we have our license plate camera. This particular camera is designed to give you know, I don't know if I use this. Well, I mean, what it's used for specifically is areas where we have. Let's see if I can get a picture of this. I'll come back. I've got one installed out in California. I'll bring it up. But it's basically going to give you just the highly reflective surface of a plate. So we have some issues with that. We have a 4 megapixel fixed lens version, so fairly inexpensive in terms of its price point, at a 4 millimeter, as well as we have it in a 6 millimeter with the CaaS. And then the last one in the CaaS lineup that we have is our 5 megapixel fisheye. So this is an onboard recording. This one is probably one of our most popular CaaS cameras because you can run it right at the edge. You have that full view of everything going on in the room. You have all of the dewarping capabilities of NX Witness right on this camera all by itself. Okay. Bring that up. See if I can find one out here. That LPR camera, just to kind of give you a view of it. But it's just going to give you that blacked out MB84, this one. And so we have areas where, in terms of picking up plates, I don't know if you have this issue out there with your plates, but where we're just looking to try to get the reflective surface. For that. You could also do that.
Don't get many Teslas.
Light conditions. Yeah, you don't get many Teslas over there yet?
Nah, we kind of tax them really high.
I bet. Well, we'll probably put some in those submarines where some of it over to you. So, all right. Any questions out there?
No, that was actually
How are we doing?
Good so far. Any questions on the CaaS stuff, guys? It's a pretty cool product, though.
Yeah, we enjoy it. It's the right application again. Camera and location, but this works really well for those small business environments where they don't want to put a server out in there.
We've had one come from Vlado. Can you add your own analytics to the CaaS camera?
Not yet. Yes.
Possibly in the future, though, Vlado. That's something that is being worked on. There are lots of new things that DW have coming in Q4 as well, which we'll talk about at a later time. But like things like machine learning NVRs and a really cool health monitoring app, which is like really cool, which Wade showed me the other day, and I was just like, this is amazing. They got some really cool stuff coming in Q4.
Yeah, so the development teams are really lined up between Network Optix and Digital Watchdog, around the globe. So we have a lot of things going on in a lot of different areas, and so really good opportunity to work together.
Cool.
Well, I appreciate the opportunity here. And again, if my email address is on here, if anybody has any questions or wants to discuss further, I'm always on, as Matt knows, I'm always on Skype and always available. So, you can reach out anytime and we can discuss.
Cool. Thanks, guys.
All right. Thank you.
Have a great day, guys. See ya.